Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the new place in the new setup. That's right. Um, so here's the deal. I got all moved in, and I will be showing off the new place before too long. I was doing that as I filmed my big complete Blu-ray collection video, and it took forever. And then when it was all done, I got the footage loaded into my computer, and it turns out that the whole thing is about 7 hours long. So I'm gonna have to either I'll probably have to edit it down to several parts, maybe like an hour a piece, or who knows, I'll figure it out. um, but point being is that I wanted to give you a little something extra because, my ability to edit in the way that I'm used to, um, it hasn't really been available to me for a while, but I'm just committed to making these videos bigger and better for all of you out there who like them. And with a big project like the complete Blu-ray collection 2020 video, it seemed like a good time to do that. Only problem is that, I load in the footage. I'm trying different editing software, and, the different ones I've tried, I've seen some playback slowdowns and just things that'll make it impossible to edit the way that I want to. So I'm trying a couple different options, but bottom line is that I am working on it. It's just a bigger project than I anticipated, but I do want to give you a little bit more for what you would expect from such a thing. But just, sit tight a little bit for that. But yeah, you'll see a little bit of the new place. But also, you'll see what all I have in the collection, except for all these things, which I'm going to show you. That's right. So you can think of this as like a supplemental epilogue for something you haven't even seen yet, because we're getting all George Lucas up in here. We're putting things way out of order. But at any rate, I just wanted to give you a little something like this to hold you over until I can get that situation sorted out. So we got three different piles of things here to show you. The first of which was a few things that came from eBay. The next pile of which is from Dollar Tree. And then the biggest pile of which I got from Second Charles with my trade-in credit. So let's do the eBay ones first because they're pretty small. And again, keep in mind you will not see these in the upcoming videos. So this is all, again, an epilogue or an appendice, one of the appendices, if you want to be Lord of the Rings about it. To something you haven't even seen yet. But first up is Between Worlds with Nicolas Cage, which this looks pretty cool. This is the Canadian version. I have resolved to try to get every film in Nicolas Cage's filmography in my collection because, he inspires me. I think he's a very daring actor, a really good actor that a lot of people don't appreciate the way that they should. And I'm eager to, to follow through on that. And eager to check that out because it looks kind of cool. And then next up, last up for eBay, was Employee of the Month with Dane Cook and Jessica Simpson. I remember seeing this movie when it came out on pay-per-view back in the day. And I remembered enjoying it. And I saw it with my mom, and I watched it for some reason, which, she wouldn't watch any modern comedies for much longer after that. But that was kind of in that sweet spot where she would watch a modern comedy every now and again. And this one, I remembered enjoying it. Like, it wasn't like the best movie ever, but I remembered that, it had some charm to it. I liked the ensemble cast. Andy Dick, who I think is normally annoying as hell, was actually pretty darn good in this. Dane Cook, the role suited him. And I think he's an underappreciated comedian and actor. He just needs to, be cast in the right role and everything. But yeah, this... for me, this movie, I think it had some good material in it, and certainly some good ingredients for like I would love to see them resurrect this as like a TV show, because I think it has all the ingredients for a good one. And it just, it brings me back to a simpler time when, Dane Cook was incredibly popular, and when Jessica Simpson was like the hottest thing on the planet and that sort of thing. The times have certainly changed since then, but it's just a simpler time, I think. But yeah, I like Dane Cook, and I remembered, the my brother and his group of friends would quote, his stand up constantly, and so it formed a lot of that lexicon of the like mid 2000s. And But anyway, I also think, us Danes got to stick together. So that's it for eBay, and then I found a few random things at the Dollar Tree. I've been seeing a lot of Dollar Tree pickups from like Sean C. Phillips and people, and I wanted to see which Dollar Trees in my area had anything. And I went one time, didn't find anything, and then this time, just today, I found a few things. There weren't a whole lot there, but the few things that were there, just got a few random things like whatever this is, Damascus cover with Jonathan Rhys Meyers, I believe, from The Tudors, and played Elvis in that Elvis miniseries. Just an action movie, I guess, from Vertical Entertainment. Again, it's $1, who cares? This is one I wanted to see for a while because I heard really good things about it. Frank, with Michael Fassbender, I believe, as this musician who wears this weird head on this mask on his head for, like, all the time, I guess. I've heard it's really weird, but, like, it's okay with me because I like weird shit. It looks like it'd be right up my alley. And then just last up for Dollar Tree, something called Mandrill. I like these releases from Magnet / Magnolia, because they're the same company. Magnolia is just more of like their art house label, and then Magnet is more like, action or martial arts or something. And I guess this is like a martial arts film or something. I don't know. It almost looked like, if you have, like occasionally, certainly around here, you'll see some theaters will show movies that are like Bollywood movies or movies from India. And it's usually those theaters the theaters that show them, they tend to have like an Indian immigrant or an Indian American population that is substantial enough to warrant showing those kinds of things, because they'll have an audience for it. It kind of looked like one of those, but I don't think it is. But at any rate, it just it reminded me of it because I've seen posters that look kind of like that. But anyway, that's it for Dollar Tree. I wish that they had more in the way of Blu-rays, but, what can you do? Apparently, with Dollar Tree, it's kind of a crapshoot as to what you're going to get, if they have anything. And then, finally, we have some things that I got at Second and Charles with a bunch of trade-in credit that I had. First up is, I don't know how you say this, 211, 211, 211, whatever, Nicolas Cage cop film, from Momentum Films, slipcover, yeah. That's what I got to say about that. I am committed to, seeing or having his entire filmography in the collection. I mean it. But yeah, so that's one of them. And then this was like $3.50. I was shocked. It was Steven Spielberg's Always, which I have never seen. And it's a film of his that nobody ever talks about. And whenever people talk about Spielberg movies, this is one that, people don't bring up. And it's got John Goodman and Richard Dreyfuss, Holly Hunter. And again, I've never seen it, but it was so dirt cheap. It was like, well, I got to do that. It's a super cheap Spielberg film to add to the collection. And then we got another one that was surprisingly cheap that I've wanted to see for quite a while, Chirac. I think it's pronounced Chirac because it's meant to be like Chicago and Iraq, like a portmanteau of those things. And I guess that it's like a rap musical or something. From what I understood, and again, I haven't seen it yet, but from what I understood, there's a lot of the dialogue is done in a kind of beat slash poetic fashion. I think, but again, I haven't watched it. It is a modern day adaptation of the ancient Greek play Lysistrata by Aristophanes, which that's pretty cool. And it's a Spike Lee film. Love Spike Lee. I think he has a very original cinematic voice, and he'll do things that a lot of people won't think to do, and so I'm just eager to check that out. But again, he does things that are definitely avant-garde, and I appreciate him for that. This is apparently one of Adam Sandler's best roles, from what I have heard. Because again, like Adam Sandler, he's somebody, and the movie is Funny People here with the slipcover. Adam Sandler is someone who is very kind of underestimated, I think, as an actor, but then, and largely it's because, well, he doesn't really challenge himself in a lot of ways with his usual shtick, but it also makes him a lot of money to where he is able to, every now and again, he'll give you like a Punch Drunk Love or an Uncut Gems or Reign Over Me or the Meyerowitz Stories or something where he can really just show what a great actor he really can be. And I've heard that this is one of his best examples of that. And, so eager to check that out, because I absolutely adore when he acts dramatically, because he can do it. He can hit, I think Roger Ebert said it best, that he can hit notes that not every actor can reach, and I think that's absolutely true. Again, Uncut Gems, like, where was his Oscar nomination? It should have been there. Next up, Guns, Girls, and Gambling with the slipcover, another one that Dane Cook's in, coincidentally. I mean, it's all right there in the title. I mean, what more do you need? I'm not a gambling person, and I've never shot a gun in my life, but, I'll let you, you can keep those two. I'll just get, just increase the number of girls, and I'll be a happy guy. But still, it's like, I love movies that have titles like that, the ones that they come out and they tell you exactly what they're all about, and, it's like, hey, truth in advertising. We could use a lot more of that these days. This is a movie I've wanted to see for quite a long time, because the premise, I think, has to be one of the most interesting premises in any film ever. Premises, whatever. And that is the invention of lying. It was written and directed by Ricky Gervais and Matthew Robinson, but it's, from what I've heard of the premise, it sounds just fascinating, because it's about this alternate reality in which human beings never evolved the ability to lie, except for one person who is able to lie, and I assume by lying that they mean even, like, because it says here, like, your baby is so ugly it's like a little rat, I'm just too far out of your league, yes, that dress makes you look fat. Like, it can be, like, the minor things that, that we, like the little politeness, things that we say to each other to not hurt each other's feelings and stuff, as well as, like, really big, consequential, lies and things. But I just thought, man, that's so interesting, because it's so true that in real life, that even if it's, like, on a small little level like that, to, like, not crush someone unnecessarily, we've created euphemisms and things like that. But then it's like, well, what if we didn't have that? What if people could tell the blatantly honest truth and have that be accepted? Except, of course, then you have the one person who does know how to lie, who comes in there and messes it all up. But, I just thought, how interesting would that be if because we're running into a situation now where, euphemistic language and, language that is meant to hide an unpleasant truth, or to just soften language in a way that makes it not effective or not truthful or whatever, we're seeing that get worse and worse. I mean, again, look to George Carlin for a whole massive bit about that. Predicted it all the way back in like 1990 or whatever that was. But I just thought, hey, that's such an interesting idea. If you had a world in which that just wasn't a factor, like people could tell the absolute most brutal truths that there are all the time and have that be accepted. It's like, I think we could stand to have a lot more of those. Like if people were able to tell the absolute truth and those receiving it accepted it in that spirit rather than getting hurt necessarily. I mean, the truth does hurt, obviously. I'm not saying it doesn't, but if we just were conscious of the value of the truth or whatever, then maybe our propensity for getting hurt might be a little less. But again, everyone's different. I can't really say categorically, but what I can say is that this next movie, I said I would get every Nicolas Cage movie, in his filmography, and I'm a man of my word, so Left Behind. It's heard nothing but terrible things. I love how on the cover here, Nicolas Cage just looks confused and like he really doesn't want to be there. And from what I've heard from the film, from those who have seen it and reviewed it and everything, apparently his performance is very like he doesn't want to be there. Now I know that a lot of his like direct-to-DVD movies and smaller roles and things like this, I know that he has been in a position to where he's had to take roles that he normally wouldn't take just to pay off debts and things, and I imagine it's one of those. But nonetheless, I said I would do it, and I'm doing it. And this is the Target exclusive version of it, so there you go, if that makes a difference. But yeah, I've heard nothing but god-awful things about it, and I'm sure that they're all true. I just, I'm a man of my word, so I gotta do it. But anyway, might be one of those ones that's just fun to laugh at, who knows. This is another one I've heard nothing but terrible things about, but I wanted to see it because A, it's a superhero film based on a toy, and B, it was shot in Wilmington, North Carolina, which is cool because, I want to see other, North Carolina produced films, and it's Max Steel with the slipcover. And yeah, I heard nothing but terrible things about it. But I'm curious to see for myself, just free from all of the, part of why I think certain things get hate is, well, partially it's because, well, it, maybe just plain bad and deserve it, but then other things I think get hate because audiences are just kind of inherently, especially these days, they just want to jump on things that maybe don't have like this massive budget or don't have star power or don't have this or that. And so when they have to see something just purely for, like something that doesn't have as big a budget or whatever, then they're less forgiving or whatever, or they're less accepting of things that are more off the beaten path. So who knows? But I'll judge for myself because, again, yeah, and that's what you gotta do. You gotta judge for yourself and don't let anybody tell you different. Next up, this was a film that I believe was kind of a deciding factor in getting Gareth Edwards the position to direct the 2014 American Godzilla, and that is Monsters, with the slipcover, which is cool because I've been looking for this movie with the slipcover for a long time, and definitely looking forward to checking it out. I like giant monster movies and, things that are just different. They're different than what you expect to see usually. And I've heard that, I think wasn't his background in visual effects? I feel like it was. I mean, I think you kind of have to have that background in order to do something like Godzilla and do it well. And then next up, I already have this movie in the collection, but I do not have it with the slip, so I'm going to sell the other one of it, and that's Showgirls, which absolutely love Showgirls. I've said that in the video that you're going to see eventually, some decade. But I love Showgirls. Glad to have it in the collection with the slipcover. So quotable, so camptacular, so just amazing. And I'm glad that it's got a cult following now, as it deserves to have. I would love to see this get like a Shout Select release, or like a... I'd love to see it get a Criterion Collection release. Wouldn't you love that? I think that would be amazing. Just or Arrow or anybody, just give me something, give me a steelbook or something, it deserves it. And then last up, something called Vigilante Diaries, which it's got Jason Mewes in it. It's got Michael Jai White. It's got Michael Madsen. It's got all kinds of people, and I wanted to know if this was like some... I'm very interested in, because it's Vigilante Diaries, so the cover, because I think this came out before, actually it says copyright 2016, so I'm wondering almost if this is like some almost attempt to make something like Suicide Squad, or like capitalize on the buzz surrounding it or something. I don't know, but I'm very interested, and I don't even know if this necessarily counts as a superhero film. I just know it says web videos of urban avenger known only as the Vigilante, and it's like, well, does that count? I don't know. Because I'm very interested in like original superhero films that aren't based on comics or other things, even though I'm a massive comic book fan, of course. But just interested. It's cheap, and anyway, so that's a little bit of a addendum there. And this is kind of my last, what I want to be my last video in this kind of just vlog style format, with no editing and no flair and that kind of stuff. I really am trying to go above and beyond, but I just want to give you a little something to hold you over and let you know that yes, I am moved in, safe and sound and all that stuff, and so there will be more on the way that is bigger and better than it was before. So yeah, if you like this, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon, set phasers to stun, warp factor 5. I will see you in the next video, and yeah, so stay tuned also for that massive Blu-ray collection video, which will be coming your way soon.